Jacques Reland, who's a senior research fellow at the Global Policy Institute, joins me now live from Saint-Malo in Paris. Thanks so much for speaking to, Saint-Malo in France, in Saint-Malo, France. You know, there's really a lot of intrigue at play here. And I have to ask if, first of all, you think he actually dropped out of the mayoral race because of these leaked lewd videos. Some are saying he's using it as an excuse to play victim because he was actually last in the polls and it looked like he was going to lose.
No, I'm sure it's because of that. He would have stayed in the race. I mean, the race was not over. There was still another candidate from the same party standing for the mayoral position. No, he certainly would not have stood. He did not use that as an excuse because these revelations have been very damaging for him. Not because of what he's done, but the fact that he was careless enough to be caught, and it has made him, he did not do anything illegal, unlawful, and it's perfectly, you know, between two private adults, this kind of exchange of pictures, it's perfectly legal. And at the same time, it has been a bit reckless, and it's made him look a bit ridiculous. And therefore, he could not have carried on with his campaign because it would have been the main topic. Each time he did a meeting or he was interviewed, it would have come up. So his position was untenable. But he's the first leading French politician to have resigned over an issue of sexual misconduct over an extramarital affair, because in France, politicians don't resign over this type of issue.
Right. And that's what's confusing here, is that the French take pride, really, in not caring about the sexual or personal exploits of their politicians. So that's why people are asking, why was it different this time? He could have gotten over this video. This is something some people just do, but there was something else at play here, and that's why his lawyers are saying that there was a Russian hand in this, that this artist, actually working with his ex-mistress, put that out there to make sure that Macron suffered because of Griveaux. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, it was politically motivated, but nobody here is talking that manipulation coming from Russia. They're thinking of manipulation coming from Pawlemski himself and his lawyer, Juan Branco, who is also the Yellow Vest lawyer. Both of them share the same hatred of Macron, and Griveaux is a politician who was very close to Macron, very much in the mold of Macron, and therefore they saw an opportunity to attack, and they use ridiculous arguments saying that Griveaux is an hypocrite. He used his private life to his own image, to his own benefit. During the campaign, he was seen with his children and with portraying the image of the perfect family man, and that therefore they're having a political action, which is purely to denounce the hypocrisy. But it doesn't stand out because it's very dangerous what they've done. And that's why all French politicians from all sides of the board have rallied around Griveaux and given him their support. They said they're sorry that he resigned. He shouldn't have resigned over such a matter, but it would have made his campaign impossible, so he had to resign. Let's not forget that in France, we've had politicians, well-known politicians, who have been caught out having extramarital affairs. It was well known that Mitterrand had countless mistresses, such as Jacques Chirac, who also, it's well documented, relied heavily on call girls. We've had Dominique Strauss-Kahn. Everyone in Paris knew, all the journalists knew that he was a regular in many swingers clubs in Paris. We had François Hollande caught visiting his mistress, but what damaged him there is not that he had a mistress, but that he was pictured on his scooter with a helmet that made him look ridiculous. Now,
okay, so it's kind of the ridiculous angle that they find humiliating, and that makes it embarrassing for them, not the actual content of their act.
protected. There's a law which dates back to 2016, which prohibits the diffusion and the broadcasting of sexually explicit pictures without the people's consent, and
Okay.
people can be charged with 2 years in jail and a 60,000 euros fine
Right.
for such offense.
Jacques, I just have a minute left. I have to ask you, though, about, I mean, some are really pointing out the irony here, and that Piotr Pawlenski was actually granted political asylum by France. To now have him cause this kind of mess in French politics and disruption in a public process, what are people saying about that? Do they regret having helped this so-called artist that they thought was being oppressed by Putin?
I'm sure this so-called artist, as you say, who likes to nail his scrotum to the red square, is quite a character and a bit damaging. And yeah, maybe there's some regret, but it hasn't been officially expressed. But I'm pretty sure that the judges will probably throw the book at him, and because what is done is an offense. The private life in France is considered as very crucial, and this kind of action is considered as a threat to democracy, because if you do like in America or in Britain with News of the World papers, gutter press releasing information on people's sexual lives and ending their careers because of that, it would dry up the talent talented people who wants to get into politics. But let's not forget that all human beings have their little secret garden. They all have their flaws, their foibles, and they have a right to that. That's part of life. We're not in China. We need to have a private life.
Okay, Jacques Reland, thank you so much for joining us there from Saint Malo. We appreciate it.